Welcome to the Mariana Dalto Show, where we decode the strategies that transform ambitious entrepreneurs into industry leaders. Today, we're diving into something that can completely revolutionize your business, thinking like a chief marketing officer. Whether you are a solopreneur wearing multiple hats or scaling your first team, today we'll give you the marketing mindset that separates successful businesses from those that struggle to get noticed. We're breaking down the 5 pillars of digital marketing and revealing 9 traffic sources, which each of those are completely free. So grab your notebook because we're about to transform how you approach visibility and growth in your business. Let's get started. Okay, let's start first with fundamental truth. As entrepreneurs, we wear many C-level hats. We are the CEO, the CFO, and yes, the Chief Marketing Officer. But here's what most people don't understand. Great marketing isn't about having the biggest budget. It's about having the right systems and strategy. So I recently came across insights from a fractional CMO who has worked with hundreds of companies. And one thing that stood out was the most successful businesses treat data as their most important currency. They don't guess, they test, measure, and optimize. And I work with large corporations in my past career, so I can attest that not just from this past CMO, but from working from my past experience, that this is 100% accurate. So think about this. Would you drive a car without a dashboard? Of course not, right? So why then so many entrepreneurs are running their businesses without the proper systems to track what's working and what isn't? So the first pillar of thinking like a CMO is understanding that you need a database, not just a technology, but a strategic asset. That's where I'm going with this. And this means, that the first pillar, well, yes, this means that having a CRM system that doesn't just store contact information but capture behavioral data. This is where I'm going with this. We are where you are kind of learning where are people clicking on things, what emails are they opening, what pages are they visiting but not taking action on. That's the behavioral data that I'm talking about. This behavioral intelligence is what separates amateur marketing from professional marketing. When you can see patterns in how people interact with your brand, you can make data-driven decisions instead of just shooting in the dark. So, what I want you to take away from this this section is your database isn't just a list of contacts that you maybe have in an spreadsheet. It's your business intelligence center. The more quality data you have, the better decisions you can make. That's why I recommend 100% to have a CRM and have not just the contacts in the CRM, but the behavior, how you can track the behavior of your contacts in your system. Okay, now let's talk about funnels. And I promise this isn't going to be another overly complex funnel tutorial. I'm not going to go there. But at its core, a funnel is simply a series of steps that your potential customers go through to engage with you. It could be as simple as creating an email that will lead to a registration page that then will lead for people maybe to attend a webinar. That's a funnel. Or it could be a social media post that can lead to a landing page that can lead to offering a free download, and then that connects to an email sequence, and then that connects to a sales page. The complexity isn't what matters, the intentionality does. That's why I'm explaining this. And here is what most people get wrong about funnels. They think every funnel needs to be elaborate. The truth is, you just want to start simple and optimize from there. Okay? Your first funnel might just be capturing emails in exchange for maybe valuable information, content, then nurturing those relationships through consistent communication. And that's why I always talk about how communication is so important in your business. So important. If you don't have a system, then you're not communicating as often as you should with your clients, with your leads, with everyone who comes in touch with your organization and your business. But here's the critical part. Your funnels must be connected to your CRM system. Without this connection, you are essentially running a business with holes in your bucket. People are slipping through, and you have no way to follow up or understand what happened. Okay, so the most successful entrepreneurs that I know have multiple funnels running simultaneously, and each are designed for different entry points and customer journeys. And if you are familiar with customer journeys, great. If not, I'm going to do another episode on that one because that's so important as well. But they all started with one simple, effective funnel that they perfected before scaling. So you start simple with one funnel at a time, you improve it, and then you start perfecting it with the right communication, with the right offers, with the right sequence. So again, start simple, start with a simple funnel, connect it to your CRM, and optimize it based on real data before creating more complex systems. And I love talking about funnels and CRM. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to me because I have passion for this type of technology. Okay, now let's address the elephant in the room, which is social media. I know some of you love it, some of you hate it, but here is the strategic truth. Social media should be treated as a lead generation tool, not just a brand building exercise, which some people do. So the biggest mistake I see entrepreneurs and business owners do is trying to be everywhere at once. Go to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter. It's exhausting and ineffective. Instead of maybe choosing, a few platforms that are the right, kind of like the platforms that maybe resonate more with you and where you have your ideal customers, and actually spend time in those platforms where you can authentically like show up and connect. So there's a lot of controversy about this because yes, I do talk about being omnipresent, being, across different platforms, but there's also a strategy behind it. Just posting for posting without having a strategy, it doesn't really get you anywhere. So that's why there's a reason why I specifically, recommend to do at least a couple of good social media platforms that you know where your customers are, your leads are, and then do a good job in those platforms, putting the content and the value that you provide because of your business. But here's the game changer insight. You don't own any social media platforms, and you know this. Facebook can shut you down, Instagram can change their algorithm, LinkedIn can suspend your account. Your real goal should be getting those people off the social media platform into your CRM system. That's the strategy behind using the CRM system. So use social media for visibility and relationship building, but always have a strategy to capture those relationships in a system that you control. Okay, this might mean directing people to maybe a free resource, a newsletter sign up, or a webinar registration, something that people can get into your system. And authenticity beats algorithm hacking every single time. I've seen too many entrepreneurs and business owners trying to chase trends instead of sharing their genuine expertise and personality. The content that performs best, are like long term, it's content that reflects really who you are and the value that you genuinely provide. So, as a summary on this part, just choose one or two social media platforms, focus on authenticity over algorithms, and always have a strategy to move relationships into your database. Okay, now let's talk about conversion rate optimization. And this might be new for some of you, so I want to explain a little bit more. So the science behind why people actually take action, this is exactly what it is, conversion rate optimization. This isn't about manipulation, it's about removing friction and communicating value clearly. Again, we're going back to communication here. So here's the thing about this conversion optimization. It's not about having the perfect page from day one. It's about consistency, testing, and improving. Again, testing and improving. The most successful companies aren't successful because they're lucky. They're successful because they test everything. Split testing used to be complex and expensive, but now it's so accessible to every single entrepreneur because technology, grew so much, and there's so much. It's so easy nowadays with technology, the CRM and everything. So change one element at a time when you're testing. Maybe it's a headline, maybe it's the button color, or maybe it's the positioning of the offer, and see what improves your results. That's how you test. But here is where many people get stuck: copywriting. And they think they need to sound like someone else or some, hypey language that doesn't feel authentic. The truth is, the best copy sounds like you having a genuine conversation with your ideal customers, you being genuine with your customer. With the AI tools that are available today, you don't need to, stare at a blank page anymore. Just use the tools to generate ideas, overcome the writer's block that people get, but then edit everything that sounds like authentic. Is your voice, is the way you talk, is how you communicate. Your audience is connecting with you, not with that generic marketing, speak that, just come out of like just GPT. So the key is to write like you talk, promise what you can deliver, and focus on the transformation you provide rather than just the features of the product or service that you offer. So again, let's summarize: test everything, write authentically, and use AI as a starting point, but always add your genuine voice and personality. Okay, now for the part you've been probably waiting for, I'm going to talk about the 9 traffic sources that can transform your business. 8 of those 9 are free, and 1 requires investment but doesn't have to really break the bank. Okay, so let's go one by one. So, traffic source number 1 is partnerships and collaborations. This is where other businesses with similar audiences can cross promote each other. Think like Disney and Lululemon, but for your industry and size. You can build 8-figure businesses purely on partnership traffic. All right, let's go to traffic number 2, which is affiliates. These are people who love promoting other people's products and services. And they often earn a commission for doing that. So they might be probably your best customers who naturally refer others, or professional affiliates who have, they have audiences, but they don't have products. That's why they do the job of promoting your products or services. The third traffic source is social media, which we already covered. But remember, focus on leveraging other people's audiences too, not just building your own. Okay? Traffic source number 4 is speaking and presenting. There are literally thousands of speaking opportunities every hour around the globe. You can start small, start with local business groups, online webinars, industry meetups. Every expert started somewhere, and that's how you can start too. The next one is SEO optimization, creating valuable content that helps search engines find you when people are looking for solutions that you provide. this is a long-term thinking, but incredibly powerful. And there's specialists who can help you with this if you don't know how to do SEO optimization. Traffic source number 6 is PR and media. And this is where you're getting featured in publications, podcasts, or media outlets. Most of this can be done through relationship building and providing value, not really for paying for the placement. I wouldn't recommend for that. It's just provide value, bring in the information that you have for in these channels. Traffic source number 7, offline opportunities. This is basically networking, masterminds, local events that you can go to. And some of the highest value clients come from offline relationship building. And this is no new news, but just wanted to make sure that you don't forget to network. Traffic number 8 is on your database, meaning don't forget to continually market to and ask for referrals from people who already know and trust you. So we talk about the CRM, we talk about putting all those contacts that you already have in the system. So this is who you talk to and who you market to, and you ask for referrals as well. And then traffic number 9 is paid advertisement, the only one that really requires spend some money, but you can start with a small daily budget to test what works before scaling up. And there's strategies behind that too. So I wouldn't just go and start spending money. You don't want to give Facebook a lot of money or whatever you want to spend in advertisement or any other social media channels. So but it does help if you know what you're doing. So you don't need to master all 9 immediately. Again, pick 2 or 3 that aligns with your business, your strengths, the audience that you work with, and then execute consistently. Be consistent in leveraging these traffic sources, right? It's not a one-off. You gotta be consistent. Anything that you do, you gotta do. If it's worth doing it, do it every day and be consistent. So here's what I want you to remember from this episode. Thinking like a CMO isn't about having the biggest budget or the fanciest tools. It's about having systems, thinking strategically, and making decisions based on data rather than assumptions. So I'm going to give you the action steps for this week so you don't just listen to the episode. You really take action and start implementing. That's how you grow. If you understand, become aware of what's possible, understanding, and then start implementing and adjusting based on your business and what works for you. So number 1, audit your current systems. Do you have a way that you can capture and track leads? That's number 1. Number 2, choose one traffic source from our list of the 9 that I share and commit to that traffic source for the next 30 days. Number 3, set up one simple funnel that connects to your database. And number 4, start testing one element of your marketing this week and see what happens. Okay? And remember, every successful business you admire started with someone implementing these, fundamental strategies consistently. The difference between businesses that thrive and those that struggle isn't that there's secret strategies. It's execution of proven principles. Okay? So before you go, I would love to hear from you. Which of these 9 traffic sources are you most excited to implement? I really would love to know that. Send me a message on social media or via email. I would love to hear from you on how do you typically leverage these traffic sources. I read every single email and post, so I would love to really hear your feedback. And if today's episode was valuable, please subscribe and share it with any entrepreneur or small business owner who may need to hear this message. Until next time, keep building, keep testing, and remember, you have everything you need to create the business impact you're dreaming of. I will see you in the next episode.